Yeah, so let's start off. What do you think about how the Eastern Conference shaped up the first round of playoffs?
Well, Eastern Conference in a nutshell is the most disappointing Eastern Conference I think I've ever seen. There were a few good teams, and even those have been disappointing, especially Bucks, Sixers with Joel Embiid being out, and now he's come back, but it's just like he's not fully healthy.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's almost like that's become a reality of who Joel Embiid is, because every playoff, even though sometimes it's not been his fault, he's been like smacked in the face. But every single playoffs, he's had some issues or the other.
Yeah.
And Giannis is out for some time. I don't know if he's coming back. Dame has been disappointing. There's literally only Boston that has been so far ahead of everyone that there's no competitive, there is no competition for them.
Okay.
And I think that the only thing that's been exciting about the East are the young or newer teams that are coming up, such as Knicks and the Pacers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the Knicks are a good team. I think the Knicks are going to do really good. Jalen Brunson's like playing really good. So I do think, the Eastern Conference isn't as exciting as the Western Conference, but you have a few good teams there. You have the Knicks, you have the Celtics, and you never know. I know in the play-in match, Joel Embiid didn't look that good, but I'm hoping now with some more rest and maybe that was just a warm-up thing kind of game for him, that he's going to come up and show a good thing, because that series could be really good. Knicks versus 76ers. That's going to be a good series, I think so. Even if he's not healthy, I think it's going to be a good series just to see what happens.
Yeah.
We all know Celtics is going to win the first round. And who else? Like
Jimmy Butler's out now for the playoffs.
Yeah, he got a torn thing, so that's a free walk for the Celtics.
Even that's another disappointing thing. Like, I think we both had the Heat as like our number 3 pick.
Yeah, because of the playoff Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Heat have to win their game against Chicago, and which they should be able to beat. But now
without Jimmy Butler, I don't think they can. I think DeRozan's gonna pop off.
Yeah, it's possible, and if that's the case, I think regardless, Celtics have a free walkthrough on the first round. Yeah. I think the Knicks versus 76 is going to be a good series. But other than that, there's nothing really exciting, because the Bucks is like, without a healthy Giannis, you just don't know.
Another young team that I forgot to mention was Orlando. I am so impressed with how Paolo Banchero has been doing. This is his second year, and he's already an all-star. I think they're in the 5th seed. I'm not sure. I'll have to check the standings. But dude, like, no one thought of Orlando like that, And now with Paolo, with Franz Wagner, they've got some good players, and they're a really good up and coming team.
Yeah, they're an up and coming team, but when you go into the playoffs and you're really looking for those really exciting teams, you don't count them in that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is why the Eastern Conference in a nutshell is very underwhelming compared to the Western. But yeah, I think the first round of the series to watch is the Knicks versus 76ers.
Yeah, and I think Pacers are going to go against the Bucks. And I don't know if you remember, but in our playoff predictions, that was my sleeper team.
The Pacers.
The Pacers, and I said the thing that I said an injury here, an injury there.
Yeah,
and they could go off. They could be like the Atlanta Hawks.
I mean, I think Giannis is ruled out, right?
I think so.
The initial part. Yeah. So yeah, it is going to be a good series.
And even if he wasn't, Pacers have beaten all Bucks all 3 times, even with Giannis and Dame playing together.
Yeah.
So that would have been a fun, because they've got their offense. Like, I think they're the best offensive team.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're not that great, but I love Halliburton's ascension into superstardom. I love how Miles Turner and him are developing like almost like a Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo type duo.
Yeah.
Or a Maxey and Joel Embiid type duo, but just inverse, where Halliburton is the bigger superstar.
Yeah.
And I would pick them against the Bucks for sure.
Oh really? Yeah. I think even
without Giannis.
Yeah, even without Giannis, I feel like the Bucks should be able to win that series. I know the head-to-head hasn't been that great.
Yeah.
But I think they have so much pressure now because of their recent slump that they will pick it up. At least I have faith in them picking it up.
I don't know, man. Have you seen Doc Rivers coach?
Yeah,
they're like 15 and 19 with him. It's the weirdest thing in the world that you would firing the new rookie head coach after you got Dame makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that when you take into account they were like 30 and 13
with him and then without him.
Yeah. And then I'm sure there could have been other coaches that you could have gone to instead of getting Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers has been on a carousel or like a musical chairs every time. He just he it's not like he gets fired for like, oh, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
It's like he flames out in the playoffs and then new team just immediately hires him, forgetting everything about him. He's had one championship like 20 years ago, and he's been coasting off that for so long that I have no idea how how he keeps getting these important jobs. If it was like he got a job for like Orlando,
that's a skill too.
exactly. He's like amazing at networking or something like that. If you want to figure out how to get a job, speak to Doc Rivers. You can't get insight about how to win playoff games, but how to get a job is like amazing. And Dame's been super disappointing, dude.
He's been disappointing as well. And I'm pretty sure Portland is kind of like laughing at him for leaving and joining that situation.
Well, he never wanted to. He always wanted to join the Heat.
I know, but you aren't going to get what you want, right? Like at the end, when you demand a trade out of a team, they're going to see their best option, and that's what.
And I mean, truth be told, I think he got a better. If the only thing on his mind is I need to win a championship,
he got a better.
He's in a way better situation than he would have been with the Heat, especially now with Jimmy Butler now. I mean, you can argue the same thing with Giannis, but there's way more upside to even next year if Giannis comes back.
I mean, Giannis is a better player,
obviously.
Butler, so you had more chances.
Yeah, and their game is more complementary with inside outside, and like when Dame got traded, I still remember I was like texting my friend. I was like, holy shit, dude, the pick and roll is going to be insane and this, that, and this, that.
It's just unfortunate.
Nothing.
Even Middleton is injured, right? Like he's not healthy. So it's kind of unfortunate because when they won, Middleton was playing really well.
That's the thing that I wish.
It's just like how you talk about the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic is like the best player. But for them to win, Jamal Murray has to play well.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with the Bucks. For the Bucks to win, Middleton needs to play well. Like he needs to take up that role, and he's just not been that player.
But do you think he can now? I don't think he can anymore. No, I think because the last two playoffs he's been in and out. I remember 2 years ago when they were the defending champs. He was out, so they took the Celtics to 7 games. Even though they were up 3-2. And Jason Tatum went off in game 6 and 7. And it was like, oh, whatever, we didn't have Middleton. And then Middleton gets hurt again and is like in and out of the lineup in the next playoffs. And now it's almost like that's why I was surprised that they traded Holiday for Dame instead of Middleton. I think that would have been maybe no one wanted Middleton. Maybe that was the thing.
I mean, when you're super unhealthy, it's hard to.
Because imagine if they traded Middleton, now it's like Drew Holiday as a point guard, and he won't have to worry that much about offense. He would only be defending. And because Malik is really good. I love Holiday. He's one of my favorite players of all time.
I think they really lost out losing him, especially for the way Down's been playing. So,
and not knowing that they thought they were trading Holiday to Portland. Now that Holiday fucking reverted back to Boston,
Celtics,
it's like it's not only do you lose him, now he's added to a contender.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bucks this whole year has been so mismanaged. With the coaching firing, they fired Bud, who I think should have. They needed a change, but I don't think going with the rookie head coach, even if they hadn't traded for Dame, I don't think going with a rookie head coach was the way to go.
I mean, even if they did go that way, like why did they replace him with Doc Rivers? That's the question. I feel like they should have just stuck it out because the record wasn't that bad. They should have fixed what they could and tried it out. But they went into an even worse situation.
Exactly.
Now it's like, now it's pretty.
I think they were trying to like recreate what Cavs did with David Blatt and Ty Lue. But then Ty Lue was already on the team. He was already an assistant coach. And he just took over, So he had history with playing with coaching these guys. And, David Blatt, I don't think it was a fit chemistry-wise, which is what the issue was with Adrian Griffin, where I think people the talks were that he's lost the locker room, where people, the players were not respecting him. And in that sense, okay, it makes sense that you want to, but exchanging him with Doc Rivers was like the weirdest hirings ever, and you're seeing the results of them.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's go on.